The night in Telford was quiet, almost too quiet. Street lights flickered, casting long shadows that danced across the wet pavement. Somewhere, a distant dog barked, breaking the silence. But felt like the town itself was holding its breath. And in that stillness, darkness moved. Innocence was being stolen. Not once, not twice, but again and again. Teenage girls, some barely 13, vanish into shadows they couldn't escape. Who were the people preying on them? And why had the nightmare been allowed to persist for so long? It started quietly, almost imperceptibly. Whispers of girls disappearing, of parents' frantic calls, of fear settling into the skin of an entire community. Victims weren't random, they were vulnerable. Overlooked children from broken homes, searching for attention and love in the wrong places. And lurking in the shadows were men who promised safety, food, friendship, but delivered horror. The victims were ordinary girls with ordinary lives. Emma, 15, with a shy smile and a love for pop music. Sarah, barely 14, always clutching her little notebook, drawing sketches of the world as she imagined it. They were daughters, sisters, friends, and their lives, abruptly, were turned inside out. The first reports were met with disbelief. How could such things happen in a quiet, seemingly safe town in the heart of England? But disbelief quickly gave way to terror as patterns began to emerge. It began in the early 2000s. A slow, creeping wave of abuse. Grooming wasn't always obvious at first. Small gifts, late-night chats, rides home. The perpetrators were patient, calculating, watching, learning what made each girl tick. They were the faces of friends, of mentors, of people you might trust. But behind that veneer was a darkness so calculated, so cold, that the girls were trapped before they even realized it. The timeline of events reads like a horror unfolding in slow motion. A girl disappears. Her friends whisper about a man who called her to meet him. Days later, another girl vanishes. The town grows uneasy. Parents tighten their grip, but the predators adapt. Police investigations stumble. Reports get lost in bureaucratic haze. Fear spreads, but the predators remain steps ahead. In the heart of Telford, these men operated almost openly. They formed networks, exchanged girls, taught each other tactics. Some victims were found. Some were rescued in time, barely holding on to their innocence. Others were left carrying scars that would never fade. The crimes weren't just physical, they were psychological. A slow poisoning of trust. A relentless assault on the very essence of childhood. As the investigation deepened, strange patterns emerged. Police discovered repeated visits to certain neighborhoods, repeated calls to particular addresses. Social media messages, cryptic and coruscant, hinted at a larger system of control. And yet, for years, justice was slow. Convictions were minimal. Some victims felt failed not just by their attackers, but by the very system designed to protect them. The main mystery of Telford lies not just in the crimes, but in the silence that allowed them to continue. How could a network of men groom, manipulate, abuse dozens of girls, sometimes in plain sight, without being stopped sooner? The fear wasn't only for the victims that permeated the town. Mothers hesitated to let their daughters walk to school. Girls learned to distrust smiles. Telford itself became a character in this dark narrative, a town shrouded in secrets. Twists emerged when some perpetrators came from backgrounds that, on the surface, seemed ordinary. Fathers, brothers, neighbors, people who could blend in, smile, and nod at community events. Each arrest, each conviction, revealed more layers of manipulation, more horrifying truths. Theories circulated: had there been protection? Had some adults turned a blind eye? Every revelation was another crack in the fragile trust of a community that had already lost so much. And yet, even now, questions linger. Were all the perpetrators caught? Were all the victims truly safe? Every time a girl walks home alone, every time a parent hesitates at night, the shadow of Telford whispers that some monsters were never fully exposed. The horror was not just in what was done, but in the unrelenting question of how much darkness can go unnoticed before it swallows a town whole. In the end, Telford remains a chilling reminder. Evil can grow quietly, invisibly, in places we think are safe. And some stories do not end, they linger in the streets, in the silence, in the memories of those who survived. The case might have official conclusions, the scars, the fear, the unanswered questions, they never truly fade. What happens to a community when the most vulnerable are preyed upon for years, and the darkness hides in plain sight? Can justice ever be complete when innocence has been so profoundly violated? If you found this story chilling, subscribe for more mysteries, because some cases never close.